the certification process, we're looking for three key things. The coverage of the business side of the organisation, coverage of the impact side, and also reinvestment. So starting with business, the kinds of things that we're looking for are the proportion of activity that is trading activity, so where money is exchanged for products and services with a social enterprise. The other aspects that are really important are the experience and track record and the team that's delivering the work, and then other aspects such as insurance, the size of contracts that the organisation's looking for, and things like accreditation and memberships and insurance. So some of those examples include things like food safety accreditation, if it applies, or insurance for products or services. On the impact side of certification, we're looking for a few key things. Firstly, what is the purpose of your organisation, and is that clearly stated? That's the social, environmental, cultural purpose. And also, is that purpose embedded inside the organisation? Do you have it locked in your constitution or other mechanisms? The other things we're looking for, is there a clear model of how you deliver impact, and is that backed up by measurement and reporting that shows the evidence that that impact is being delivered. The third aspect that we're looking at in certification is this concept of reinvestment, which is really, does the money flow with the way you describe the organisation? So that can be a couple of main mechanisms. Firstly, do you deliver impact in your day-to-day operations, and does your expenditure mirror that mechanism, or do you generate profit through your operation and you reinvest that profit into your purpose? So what we're looking for in our declaration is a shot of what that looks like from the organisation. The focus on suppliers for procurement is suppliers that can deliver in a business-to-business context. Now, business-to-business means trading between two businesses or potentially other organisations like government entities or not-for-profits, but it's between organisations as opposed to a business-to-consumer organisation. The reason why we're focused on business-to-business is if we can start to create more opportunities in business-to-business, it's more significant revenue for the organisation, and also longevity of revenue and financial sustainability. The two kinds of organisations that we're looking for are, one, organisations that are experienced in delivering in a business-to-business context and have that track record and experience to be able to deliver in that context, or high potential organisations that may be earlier in their journey as an organisation but are providing products or services or potentially delivering a really high impact that can step into that context and grow into that context rapidly. When it comes to procurement, readiness has a number of things that are really useful to consider. So readiness looks like you understand what products and services you sell, and more particularly what you don't do, and also what size contracts are you looking for, and how much work or how many products or how many services can you deliver in a realistic way. The second thing is about understanding who you're trying to target with those services and understanding your customer, so that you don't get yourself in a situation where you're trying to make stuff up on the fly, or you find yourself out of your depth. A really important thing to consider is knowing the industry that you're operating in and how things work in that industry, what sorts of expectations are on you as a supplier, and also who are your competitors and what do they do, because that's a really good sign of what you should be doing to fit into that space. And then the fourth thing I wanted to raise is around understanding how procurement works. And that's both an industry perspective, but also inside the organisations that you're trying to target, and just understanding how that process works so you can fit in and you can prepare in the best possible way. The upshot of all of that is that you're taking a more strategic approach to where your opportunities are, and also understanding how you can prepare better for those opportunities, and not just doing it at the last minute when you're in the heat of the moment, or you've got a tender or something that's really time constrained and high pressure. So you can do a lot of things up front to prepare for those opportunities, and that's really what readiness looks like. So the key things about being ready for certification is really orientated around evidence. What we're looking for in certification is evidence that you meet the requirements and the specifications of that certification. So I mentioned before, talking about the sides of business and impact. From a business perspective, we're looking for things like documentation or evidence of your track record, who you've worked with in the past, those types of things. What size contracts have you delivered previously? And on the impact side, we're looking for things that back up that you understand what impact you're delivering and you're doing it in a structured and considered way. And there's also potentially measurement and evidence that sits behind that as well. So all of this stuff can seem quite confusing and confronting, but it's really intended to help get you ready for procurement. And so the certification was really set up as a step that dovetails into a procurement process, because these are the types of things that you need to represent when you go into a procurement process. If this feels confronting, don't stress, we have a readiness checklist and some guidance and more information that's available from Forward to help you with that next step.